Hello and welcome to the next video in our series of Welcome to the Enhanced User Interface. In this video, I'll go over the favorites and how favorites work within PowerSchool, and then I will go over some of the special search features that you may come to really like. So as I discussed earlier in one of my previous videos, PowerSchool has added these favorites. The very first thing that comes to my mind is the Custom Registration 2.0 screen, which has been renamed to FPS Student Records in the Enhanced User Interface. That's a screen that a lot of people go to pretty much all the time to get their information on a student. So let's bookmark that page. I have my current selection of students, which are 31 students. I believe this is my 7th grade at my test site here. I'll click on Leonard. From previous video, if you recall, the Registration 2.0 or FPS Student Record screen is now under Student Profile. And I click on FPS Student Records. Since this is a screen that I frequent often, I'm going to want to bookmark that so I don't always have to go through the student profile and clicking on the FPS student records. So I simply click on Add to Favorites. Since I don't have any favorites set up yet, this one is going to come up and ask me where I want to save this. They give you a student profile, which is a default, but you can add a new category. And maybe I want to call this one Demographics. I click on the Confirm New Category button. And now I can select to put this under Demographics. If you wish, you can add a favorites to more than one category. I'll leave it under Demographics and click on Add Page. I'll get a message that the page was successfully added. And now, if I look into my favorites here, I'm able to see my demographics and my FPS student record screen. PowerSchool has given us the option to pin our favorites to the right-hand side of the screen here so that they never disappear. I can simply click on the pin button here, and now my bookmarks are right here for me. I can go through and switch to different screens, and when I want to go back, I could just click on FPS Student Records. Since this is a student screen, PowerSchool is smart enough that if I do not have a selection of students or a student selected, and I click on FPS Student Records, it's going to come up and it's going to ask me to search for a student that I want to view. And now I'm back to the FPS Student Records screen. Let's say I work with attendance quite a bit within a student. I can bring my student up. I can click on the attendance, and maybe I'm attendance clerk and I modify attendance frequently. I can add this to my favorite screen. Maybe I want to create a new category called attendance. Confirm. Make sure that it's in that category and say Add Page. Page has successfully been added. And now in my favorites here, I have a demographics and I have an attendance. So if I'm in a student profile, maybe I'm looking at their student record screen and I need to modify their attendance, I can just click my favorite. And I'm over to the Modify Attendance screen. Favorites can also be put for screens that aren't student related. So let's say our FPS and custom FPS applications. I frequent this page often, so I'm going to want to bookmark this page. So I can click on my Add to Favorites. I'm going to put this one under an FPS category. And now my custom FPS applications are right here for me. So if I'm in a student screen, maybe log entries, and I need to flip over to my behavior admin, I can simply click custom FPS applications, and here I am. I did not have to go through any of the left-hand navigation. As time goes on, maybe you'll find that you need to adjust or change these favorites. You can click on Manage Favorites, and this is where you have the ability to sort. You can drag and drop, so I want to move my attendance towards the top, demographics, FPS. If you have more items underneath, you can easily drag and drop those as well. If I want to get rid of an item, I can click on it and I can say remove. I could move it to a different category if I'd like. I can also get rid of the whole top category as well too. If I were to just click on that, say delete, I can also rename it if I wanted to. I'll go ahead and save my changes and close. And now my attendance is at top, demographics, FPS. Another feature that I wanted to show you, which I find very nice, I'm going to turn my favorites off here so I've got a little bit more room, is let's say you've done a pretty big search. I'm going to just grab 8th grade students just to make this video easier. But let's say I'm working with a selection of students. Maybe I'm enrolling them in an activity, or maybe it's a teacher list that I'm working with, and the phone calls. And I need to look up information on another student. I can come up here to the search box. I know my student's number right off bat. You can search by name, but I'll do by student number. And Leonard Anderson here is a 7th grader, as you can see, and I have 8th grade selected. But if I click on his name, a new tab appears for me in my browser. You'll notice that it's a very stripped down screen. Maybe they were curious about his attendance, so I can take a look at the attendance overview. I can explain to the parent maybe why the student was absent or if it was a mistake, etc. And when I'm done with my call on the phone, I can just simply close my tab, and I still have my selection of students, and I still have where I was at previously. So if I was on maybe David's log entries and that parent called, I can simply type in the number, look at Leonard. It's going to default to the log entries, but I want to take a look at his attendance. And when I'm done with my phone call, I simply close my tab and I'm back to my log entries. Another feature within the enhanced user interface is the carousel. So we have our student selection up, and the carousel is slightly different in the version of PowerSchool that we'll have loaded. Currently, it has the arrows on each side. The new version of PowerSchool actually has the left and right arrows right next to each other so that they don't keep moving. So if I was clicking on the right here, you'll see that it's slightly moved because this student's name is a little bit bigger. And if I click again, this one's a little bit bigger, so I always have to move the mouse. PowerSchool has now made it to where those buttons are static, and so you don't have to move the mouse. You can just keep clicking right until you find the student that you're looking for. You can do the drop down here. You can select by the list if you'd like. You can, maybe I need to know just Gil. I can jump straight over to Gil and take a look at that. And you'll notice that my students are still in there. So all of my 8th grade students, I just jump down. If I need to modify my current selection, I can do that here. And maybe I want to see just all genders of male. And I'm down to my 22 students. I click on continue. And now my carousel has updated to only show the 22 students. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll find the enhanced user interface as exciting as we do. Thank you.